What's up, guys? We're back plugging away at the KX500. I did a little bit off camera. Actually, I did a lot off camera. I got the bike. So after getting the motor in the last video, I went ahead and redid the linkage, got the swing arm on, got the EMIG triple clamps on there, got the forks mounted the wheels, the brakes, started doing plastics, all the bike controls. So I picked up these handlebars with my Brett Metcalf bike, and they're like really good condition. I think I paid 50 bucks for the bars and for the clutch perch. So pretty good deal there, and just needed to find a bike to use it on. Got a pink pad, which is gonna match the graphics over here. The bike came with new plastics and a new Clark tank. So with those graphics and that bar pad, it's gonna look pretty cool. So we got the motor in there, got the carb, I redid the carb, hydroblasted, new vent lines, got the foot pegs mounted. We've got the IMS pegs, got the chain on. It's an O-ring chain, came with the bike, so I thought I'd use it. I haven't used an O-ring, but I'm pretty sure they're common on the 500s. Comment below if you guys have an opinion on that or have more information on it. Brakes are just KX500 for now. I may do the upgrade. There's an upgrade to do KX450 rear wheel and brake setup with a bigger axle, and then it gives, you don't have the piggyback, or you have a piggyback reservoir and you get rid of the remote reservoir. Speaking of the reservoir, I've got a really cool billet one. I picked it up when I was getting ready to do my KX250, and that whole project stalled out. But I'm going to use it on this build. KX Racing is who I got it from. Pretty cool trick little cap. Uses the O-ring from the OEM reservoir. Got the Phathead on there. The bike came with new motor mounts. I still gotta get a bolt for that spot and get them torqued. Same with the front ones. I can't find the bolts for it, so luckily in my spec bolt bins, I've got lots of bolts, right? These are the 8 mils, so I just gotta find the right length. I've got another bin over here. These are all re-zinced stuff that I've got saved up, so I'm sure I'll be able to find a bolt in here for what I'm missing. So on the engine build video, if you guys remember, the impeller was broken, damaged. So I picked up this trick little impeller from MSV Racing. So these guys are out of Oregon. I did some Google searching. They do a lot of CR500 stuff, and they make a version for the KX500. So I'm gonna swap that in there. I thought Boising had a cover that increased the flow through the water pump, but they do not. Not that I was able to find. If you guys know of any tricks, I mean, this is it's such a sharp elbow coming out of there. It's just terrible design, but I couldn't find anything aftermarket that fixes that. So the EMIG Racing triple clamps, these things went on really awesome. No issues. I hate this blue cap. It's the only one that came with the bike though, so I'm gonna have to run it. Lower clamp, perfect. So they machine these, got the bores done specific for these 48 millimeter KX250 fork tubes. I'm running the KX250 front wheel, so everything just bolted up. I've got the brakes from the KX250 on here. So we've got a floating rotor. Obviously I did the video with the Excel wheel, got some new tires on there, got the 834 Moto skid plate going on. Picked up some silicone hoses. I was missing the hose on the other side that's got the little elbow in it, which sits right in there. So I figured I'd just pick up a new set because it's unavailable OEM for that hose with the bend in it. So I'm cheating a little bit on this subframe. I ran out of stripper to get this powder coating off. So I've focused primarily on the spots that you're gonna see when the bike's together. So if I were to grab one of these side panels and throw it up here, you know, it's gonna cover up the powder coat that's still on there. Yeah, I have full intentions of obviously getting the rest of it off, but I want to ride this bike tomorrow, so I'm kind of rushing right now to get it back together and see if it'll get going for me. I was wasn't missing, like I have the bolt that was here, but it's not re-zinced, and I was trying to get all hardware that's been replated on the bike, like the rear axle, the swing arm, all the linkage bolts. I didn't have time to get all that replated. So, and the swing arm, you know, the swing arm's got some rashes on it, but for now, for this first test ride, I'm just gonna get it going. Same with the rear shock. I don't know how this thing's gonna handle. It could just be a pogo stick out there. I don't know. We'll find out soon enough. I know the forks are going to be good. They're really stiff. So I'm hoping it's got a decent balance to it. If not, we'll dig into the back shock. When I was doing the foot pegs, I had thought that there was an oversized pin. I've been rummaging through the original hardware here, and I found these bolts, get it to focus, that have a hole drilled in them. I think this is what they were using for the foot peg pins. So I'm glad I got that fixed. You know, it had a really thin wall, and if that stretched and broke open, you know, your foot peg could get ripped off when you're riding, and that would just be bad. But. So with the rear fender and the left side panel on there, it definitely covers up the spots I was worried about on the subframe that still have the powder coating. I'll give whoever powder coated this props. They did a really good job. It was a really thick powder coating job, but anyway, I didn't like the color, so it had to go. Rear fender, I put the bottom 2 bolts in, and the side bolts you have to drill into the plastic. And from the last 500 I did, I learned that if you drill in the locations that they want you to drill in, the fender's not going to sit flat. So you like to get it mounted up here, level the fender out, and then drill the holes in. Alright guys, there she is. I did a lot off camera, obviously. Want to ride tomorrow, and I was just pushing through to get this thing buttoned up. Did a test start, got it running, figured out that the clutch plates were sticking. I'd put it in gear and it would just stall. So I had to take the right cover off and free up the clutch plates and oil them again. To do that, you have to drain all the coolant out, take the pipe off, take the seat off, take kickstarter, brake pedal, pretty much take the whole right side of the bike off just to get that one piece cover off. It's got to be the worst design ever. But got it apart, freed up the clutch plates, started it again, and put it in gear, no issues. So I think we're good to go for tomorrow. Made a little bracket for the front number plate. It's ugly, but I wanted to have a plate on there. So I'll clean that up at some point. What else? We bled the brakes. The clutch. Oh my gosh. This thing, I've got the lever on the handlebar as far over as I can. This clutch is just murder. It's so stiff. I've never felt a clutch this stiff before. If I like riding this thing, I might have to go with a hydraulic clutch. I've seen some setups for it. What else? Oh, I got my Guts seat cover on here. Went on really good. Pretty easy. Looks decent. I don't know about the wrinkles. They just, the way the material is, you can't really pull them out. So it is what it is for now. Got some stickers on my fender. Just some of the people that are helping with this build with parts or discounts, whatever. So, you know, we got 834 Moto skid plate on here. Guts Racing seat. JT Engine Works with the linkage and the frame gusset kit. IMS pegs are on here. I mean, I just had the sticker and I needed to fill a spot. Bench Racer on Instagram, he made my logo for me. So just, this is one of his stickers. Renthal, just filling an empty spot. And then the best feature on this bike, hands down, is the Phathead racing head. So this decompression lever is just saving my life. So when I get ready to start it, I push this guy in. I kick it over like it's a 250. I treat it just like a 250, and it starts right up. And then the little button pops out and goes full compression. Man, if you guys have 500s, that is the way to go right there. Hit up Luke at Phathead Racing. Get yourself one. So this is a Clark fuel tank. It came with the bike. So when I got this bike, you know, it was in boxes, but it came with all the UFO plastics, rear fender, front fender, side panel shrouds. There was a brand new Clark gas tank. I picked up a newer, modern KX500 front number plate, which I thought I was going to need for the forks, but I probably could have used a different number plate if I wanted to. Of course, the original one had 3 mounting locations, and that wouldn't have really worked with these EMIC triple clamps. So I did splurge on the triple clamps, but they were needed to run the newer 2002 KX500 forks and front wheel. Obviously, I splurged on Excel wheels and new tires. The pipe is not anything special. It's a Pro Circuit Works pipe. I picked it up on eBay. I haven't done anything with it yet. It came like this, so it was probably rusty, and somebody went at it, and they got all the rust off, but they left a really rough finish on it, which, you know, I think it'll be fine for a rider. That is my plan. I'm going to ride this thing, so it should work. There's some dents in it, so I might at some point pull it off, pop the dents out, glue the welds, make it look pretty good, make it look better anyway. The rear shock is something that I didn't do anything with yet. I was playing around with the clickers. I still need to set the sag. There's not a whole lot of damping in that shock from what I can feel just off the stand, just sitting on it. So I might have to do something there. We'll see once I set the sag. It might feel a little bit better. I don't know what it, you know, it says Race Tech Race Shock on it, right? But it could just be a sticker. It looks like an OEM spring, so might be some work to do there. It might not be balanced with the front. I don't know. New Pro Circuit exhaust, Stinger, I should say. So this thing's pretty sweet. Mounted up there, piece of cake. The bike had a new plastics mounting kit, so I had plenty of bolts to use. It was from Spec Bolt, so you know, props to Spec Bolt for putting my bikes together and making them look good. I did use some of the bolts from their head kit, ones that I was missing. The Phathead Racing head also came with the acorn nut style head nuts. But yeah, she's ready to go. I can't wait for tomorrow. So I'm going to, hopefully if we catch a break in this weather and the track's decent tomorrow, there's a local sand track that I'm going to ride at and break this thing in. All right, guys, thanks for watching this build. I know I skipped through a whole bunch of stuff. I was hoping to do a more in-depth coverage of this build, but time just got away from me and I rushed through it at the end here. But I'm going to do some more builds this winter, and I'll probably do a little bit more in-depth filming of those, a little bit more step-by-step, and hopefully have a little bit better content. So stay tuned for that. It might be a little while. Things are getting busy with my day job, which is, you know, how I actually make a living. So probably be a little break for a little while. I also want to do a little bit of riding, so you know, do some riding, and work's going to keep me busy probably through January. So I might do a little bit here and there. I'm always putting stuff in Instagram. That's easy, but this YouTube stuff, it just takes so much more work to film it, edit it, and post it, and it's a lot of work. So props to all you YouTubers out there that make a living doing this. It's not easy for sure. But stay tuned. We're going to have some more material. Got some more bike builds planned. I've got a really cool KX500 build that I'm going to do. We've got the 95 Lamson build that I took it apart, and it's just been sitting around. I was waiting for a customer. I thought somebody was going to buy it and pay the way on that build, but that stalled out, so I might just do it myself and keep it. I've got a 97 YZ125. It's either going to be a John Dowd or a Kevin Windham replica. We might get that going this winter. I've got my buddy Hazen's bike that I need to finish and get out of my basement, so there's probably going to be a little bit of build left there. So anyway, stay tuned. We got more to come. Thanks for watching.